Netflix, you don't need cable. Hop on YouTube, welcome to the hood table, where we chop up local and global events vocally. You don't really wanna miss out on these conversations. Just joke a little, laugh a little, get that wine in your system, fill your glass a little. Expose current events, talk trash a little. You never know, these opinions might clash a little. They addicted to the content, got them binge watching. You don't like it, then you want invited. Bet your friends watching in the house and your job parking lot before you clocking. They don't wanna miss a second of this HT content. Everybody think they got something to say, so it's an open invitation, bring it to the table. But if you come whack, just know we ain't buying in. We gon' probably turn your back and tell you sorry, try again. Yeah, welcome to the hood table. You don't need Netflix, you don't need cable. Yeah, welcome to the hood table. You don't need Netflix, you don't need cable.
Hey, what's up, everybody? Happy Wednesday. Happy hump day. I hope you guys are all having a wonderful day. We are almost to the weekend, halfway there, y'all. And please make sure you like and share the video on your way in. Please feel free to subscribe. If you're new here, hit the notification bell, hit the join button. And if the spirit moves you to donate to the platform, Cash App, $ the hood table 402, or feel free to send a super chat to support the goals. And what's up, Mr. Boston? How you doing? First one drop down in the chat. How are you doing today? I hope you're doing well. You guys, I've been trying to keep up on some local news here, some true crime that I first spoke about yesterday. Really serious situation that took place yesterday at one of our local Walmarts. One of the Walmarts in kind of northwest of Omaha, northwest area. I'm sorry, southwest. My bad, southwest, the southwest area. And I'm just going to give you some updates on that today. Let you know a little bit about what happened, more of what happened, let you know who the officers were that, had to put the woman down who had slashed the little boy with a knife at Walmart, and also let you know who she is, a little background information about her, and also the family speaks out, and as well as a witness too as well. So I got a few videos, for you guys to watch today. I have been also checking out a little bit of the B-Sect tour, so I might get into a little topic after I do this update. I haven't watched a lot of videos. I had a pretty busy day because I took my cell phone to get fixed yesterday, and they said all I needed was a new battery. So I got a new battery, I got a new screen protector, and phone was working fine. Then this morning when I got up, phone was working fine. Then all of a sudden my screen died, but I could still hear my phone. I could hear people calling me. I could hear my notifications, but the screen was just totally blank and dark, and it wouldn't come on. So I had to take my phone back. I had to go to 3 different shops to get my phone fixed, and was without my phone for like 5 hours. And then the last place I took my phone, I was there for like an hour, waiting for them to fix it. So it's been a long day. So I haven't watched a lot of B-Sector content, but it is one specific thing that I do want to discuss after I give you guys this update on some local news that broke yesterday. You said I am chilling and relaxing. That's what I'm trying to do when I get off of here, hon. I'm so serious. It's about 80. I want to say, no, not 80, not quite 80. It's probably about 75 degrees. I'm here right now. So I might sit out, for a little bit before it gets dark, before it gets dark. But yeah, yesterday, it was a crazy day, y'all. When I came live yesterday, I had told y'all that I was on the phone with one of my moderators while I was rolling around running errands. I was like trying to get my phone fixed. I was also doing some early birthday shopping for my grandson who turns 5 next month. So I bought him a lot of shit, just running errands. And then I drove past a Walmart in our city, and I saw it's probably 10, at least 10 police cars, ambulance, fire truck. And I was on the phone with one of my moderators, and I said, oh my God, something happened at Walmart. She was like, try to get over there, try to see what's happening. I said, I think I see a body on the ground. She was like, oh my God, a body on the ground. Oh my God, see if we can get footage. I said, I can't. They got the whole Walmart surrounded. You can't get nowhere close. Even the media was like, not even on the side of the Walmart, but they was across the road on the other side of the medium So it was a pretty, long distance that they were even, able to use to do their story and stuff. And then I saw another news crash. They was like up on a hill, past the Walmart. I said, nah, I'm gonna get my butt home. I got business to tend to back at home too. But so when I got home yesterday, I did give you guys, the tea on what happened in our city. And basically it was a lady who had mental issues. She tried to kidnap a 3-year-old baby, a toddler from Walmart here in our city. And the person who was the guardian of the baby, the person that the baby was in the custody of, they said it wasn't the parent. They didn't think it was the parent because I don't know why. That's what the news said. But then come to find out, it was a family friend who was actually caring for the toddler at the time that the lady with the mental issues had walked up to the caretaker and said, "Give me your phone," and showed a knife to the caretaker and said, "You need to get in front of this cart and I'm going to follow you." And they put the knife, a big knife, like a kitchen knife, up to the baby, the 3-year-old toddler. And so I told you guys about that yesterday, and I told you I would update you once we find out more information. So let me play this first clip real quick.
First, those officers. They are Brian Seaton, who is a 22-year veteran of the department, and Roger Osaka, also a 22-year veteran. Both are on paid administrative leave as police and a grand jury investigate. Now, this all comes after police say 31 a 3-year-old and his caretaker at knife point at a central Omaha Walmart. KETV Newswatch 7's Pete Cudahy is live there at 72nd and Pine with the details of what went down. Pete?
Quinisia, that 3-year-old boy was with a family friend at this Walmart when police say Noemi Guzman, a 31-year-old, approached him and attempted to kidnap him. Now she held him at knife point, slashing him across the face and on his hand. Now, investigators say they believe that she got that kitchen knife from inside of the Walmart just after 9 Tuesday morning. Police say Guzman approached Kyler and his caretaker as they were shopping and forced the caretaker to walk ahead of the cart. Police say Guzman walked with them through the store and out to the parking lot. Now, police were called twice. One of those calls was a nature unknown emergency call. The other caller said there was a woman armed with a large kitchen knife. 2 officers arrived, Brian Seaton and Officer Roger Sika. Their body camera footage shows Guzman swiping the knife at the child.
Officers gave the suspect commands. At one time, there is video that shows the suspect swiping the knife at the child, cutting him across the face. Officers at that time, at least one officer fired their weapon.
Both of the officers involved are now on leave, and right now they will be going through a grand jury. Now, we do know that Kyler will survive his injuries. Reporting live, I'm Pete Cudahy, KTV Newswatch 7.
Okay, so that's one of the follow-ups to the news story. And again, here's the picture of the lady. Picture of the lady who was trying to kidnap a 3-year-old toddler from a local Walmart here yesterday. And the lady's name is Noemi Guzman, who has prior mental health issues. It was well known to certain people around her that she has some mental issues. She's a 31-year-old lady. Well, was a 31-year-old lady because, as you heard, the police had to take her out in order to, make sure that she didn't, unalive the 3-year-old boy. But 31-year-old, she was assigned a mental health treatment plan after a house fire and a church break-in. Omaha police identified the woman in the attempted kidnapping incident at Walmart. They said they released a picture of the lady. Let me put her picture up here again. Okay, so that's a picture of the lady right there. And again, her name is Noemi. It's Noemi. Noemi. I think that's how you say it. Guzman. 2 years ago, she was arrested after her father's home was set on fire and was also accused of breaking into a church rectory in South Omaha. Guzman was found not guilty by reason of insanity and assigned a treatment plan in 2025. She was actually scheduled for an annual review on June 12th, which is a couple months from now. OPD confirmed that no officers were injured in the incident, which started around 9:15 a.m. yesterday at Walmart near 72nd and Pine Streets. And according to OPD, officers immediately began to approach Guzman, who had the 3-year-old boy in the seat of the shopping cart. After multiple commands to drop the knife, Guzman began to cut the boy. And we see this right here where she had the knife in hand that she stole from Walmart. When she was in the store, she stole the knife first, then approached the little boy and his caretaker. So she had the little boy at knife point. And again, after multiple commands to drop the knife, Guzman began to cut the boy across his face. Here's a picture right here. That's the little boy. So precious. And as she began to cut the boy across the face, the officers then fired their weapon. Well, they said it was one officer that actually hit her, but the officers then fired their patrol weapons into Guzman, and one of them actually hit her. Immediately after the shooting, the boy's guardian, along with a bystander, were able to remove the child from the cart and render aid. The boy was taken to the hospital with non-life-threatening injuries. And also, after the shooting, officers attempted life-saving measures. They were doing CPR on Guzman, but she was declared dead at the scene. OPD says surveillance video showed Guzman shoplifted a large kitchen knife, approached the guardian and the child, forced the guardian to walk in front of the cart while Guzman took control of the cart and directed both of them to the parking lot. OPD says the officers involved in the incident have been placed on paid critical incident leave and will be interviewed at a later date per department policy. The investigation into the shooting remains ongoing, with the Omaha Police Department officer involved investigations team being assisted by the Nebraska State Patrol and Douglas and Sarpy County Sheriff's offices. The responding officers acted with professionalism and direct action to intervene and save a child's life, said Omaha Police Chief, I can never say this man's name right, Todd Schmaderer. I can never pronounce his name, and he's my own Omaha Police Chief. Anyway, the community can be reassured in knowing that Omaha police officers stand ready to act with courage and decisiveness in the most serious situations to protect the public. Our Omaha Mayor, John Ewing, shout out to the first Black mayor in Omaha, shared this statement in the wake of OPD's release. Our mayor said, "Today, a frightening and tragic event occurred at a local Walmart. First, I am thankful that the child who was seriously hurt is being treated at a local hospital and will apparently get better. Second, fast action by the Omaha Police Department likely prevented a larger tragedy from unfolding. And I am grateful for the department's professionalism and transparency. I trust the process required by law in investigating the officer-involved shooting will fully be examined." So, yeah, that's what our mayor had to say. The Omaha Deputy Chief Gray, he gave an initial statement around 11 a.m. yesterday as well, updating reporters on the status of the child and the circumstances of the incident. He made sure that the public knew there was no further threat, nothing to be concerned about. They believe that the woman was the only threat and by herself acted alone. So they did, try to make sure the public knew that. Walmart actually shared a statement as well. Just before 3 p.m. They said violence like this is unacceptable. We're working with police and supporting them in their investigation, and traffic around the area that was impacted for about an hour opened back up around like 5 p.m. yesterday evening. But yeah, so it was really, really bad situation yesterday. It could have been so much worse. I mean, the fact that the lady had to be put down, absolutely necessary. Absolutely. If they didn't, Ain't no telling what other injuries that little boy could have sustained. Ain't no telling if he would be unalive right now and they'd be preparing his funeral. The little boy Kyler that they call their little cowboy, as you can see in the middle picture, he's all dressed up in his cowboy uniform and his hat and everything. And he's so cute. He's so cute. And you see him there with his dad. In the far left, you see him there with his dad. And then in the far right, you see where the lady with the mental illness had cut him across the face when police was trying to get her to put down the knife. And thank God. Oh my God. I was saying yesterday, y'all. Them police, they got to take a lot of training, do a lot of training, a lot of, shooting training and, things like that. And thank God that guy had some good aim because she was literally, let me show the picture again. She was literally like right next to the boy with the cart and was able to slash him across the face one time. She also got his hand because I believe the little boy must have put up his hand or something after he got cut or maybe before he got cut. But she did cut his hand and she did cut him across the face. But again, the little boy is going to be fine. We're actually going to go to a clip here of the little boy's family talking about this. But first, I want to go to the Omaha priest who actually had an incident with this lady a couple of years ago. And the priest was like, man, I knew it was only going to be a matter of time. And this was after the lady set her father's house on fire and then also broke into a church. So let me go ahead and pull this up. And then I'm also going to play the family of the little boy. They spoke out. And hey, everyone in the chat. Hey, newbie. Hey, beautiful.
Taking a deeper look into Guzman's stabbing incident from 2024.
KE2 News Watch 7's Madison Perales is live at St. Francis Cabrini's rectory. That's where Guzman barricaded herself after stabbing her father over 2 years ago. Madison?
Bill, Quinicia, we're going to zoom in to the top middle window. That's the area where Noemi Guzman tried to avoid less lethal chemical spray, a tactic police used to get her into custody 2 years ago.
And so I said, "Who are you?" And she said, "Well, who are you?" And I said, "Well, I live here." And she said, "Well, I'm going to do terrible things here."
These are photos of the barricade Noemi Guzman built in St. Francis Cabrini's rectory, where Father Damien Zerline lived.
I actually didn't think she could get into the room I was in because it was deadbolted, but she shattered the door frame where the deadbolt was and bent the deadbolt. So super strong.
Police said she broke into the home shortly after stabbing her father and dousing him in lighter fluid. Father Zerline says Guzman's mother paid him a visit a few days after the March 2024 incident.
Her mother was frightened of her as well and worried for her that if she didn't get care, she would cause harm to others or be hurt herself.
The priest says he noticed she was suffering from a mental illness. He remembers she was evaluated after the break-in.
We don't have the personnel to keep an eye on her, to maintain her, to get her back in if she needs to go back in. So then other people are harmed.
When Father Zerline heard Guzman had slashed 3-year-old Kyler's face Tuesday morning, he wasn't surprised.
It was only a matter of time, probably, until it happened.
The priest says he wishes there were more resources at people's fingertips.
Community Alliance and others do what they can, but they can't handle the numbers that are there.
We reached out to Guzman's family, but none of them were ready or wanted to talk. Reporting live, Madison Perales.
Okay, so there you heard from the priest when she broke into the rectory. And then you also saw like when she had put set off the smoke or the flames or whatever it was, you saw them like coming out the window, trying to climb out the window there. And then the priest saying basically they don't know what to do with the mental illness, how people can be, totally assisted by something like that when they have mental illnesses, because it's like, I don't know what year it was exactly, but across the nation, this was like a nationwide thing when a lot of the mental institutions, including one here that was well known, it was here for many, many years. They closed that down. And a lot of the people who had mental illnesses here stayed there and they received, help there, mental help there. And they closed that down, and then they closed a lot of them down across the nation. I can't remember exactly why they shut them all down, but I remember it has something to do with maybe money or finances or not enough I don't know, donation. I can't remember exactly what it was. Maybe some of you guys might be able to share information on that, especially if you had some mental facilities that were shut down in your area too. Again, this was like back in the 90s when they had, started shutting down a lot of facilities across the United States. But as far as like our governor Pillen, he also has something to say, as far as like people getting help or trying to get people assistance, or if that's even possible to try to protect all these people with mental illnesses. And so let me show you what he got to say. And this is just only a minute video, so it'll be real quick.
Today, we asked Nebraska Governor Jim Pillen what policy changes he'd like to see when it comes to mental health services. Pillen says mental health challenges have doubled since the pandemic and admits the state needs to put more money into resources. But he put the biggest slice of the blame on, quote, dumb phone and technology corruption.
I do believe it's an extraordinary problem that is inundating mental health. And if you can't say something to a person's face and all you're going to use is hurtful words in technology of texts and email and and then all this social this stuff that goes on. I think those are discussions we need to have.
Pillen touted some recent legislation aimed at making a difference, but said that ultimately he doesn't believe government can fix the mental health crisis.
And hey, Tabe, how you doing, love? How you doing? Good evening. Good evening. You guys, please make sure you like and share the video on your way in. Now, I did why the governor was telling us how he felt about mental illness treatment. I did quickly Google why were a lot of the mental illness facilities shut down in the 90s in the United States. Now, what Google said is the closure of mental health facilities in the U.S. during the 90s was primarily driven by deinstitutionalization, a process that shifted patients from long-stay psychiatric hospitals to community mental health services. Key factors contributing to the shift included innovative medications like thorazine that made outpatient treatment more feasible. Also, federal legislation such as Medicaid, Medicare, which supported the transition to community-based care. Public awareness and critiques of the conditions in these institutions, leading to increased pressure on state budgets. Now, I know a lot of y'all probably can recall whether it was a movie, whether it was a documentary, whether it was somebody you actually know in real life. Back in the day, even way back in the day, before modern medicine and things like that, they dealt with mental illness in some crazy ways. I mean, having people locked up, strapped down, shocking their brains. I mean, just all kind of stuff like that. I know y'all recall some of the craziest movies and horror movies sometimes dealt with, institutionalized mental patients. But yeah, they said the public awareness and critiques of the conditions in those institutions leading to increased pressure on state budgets. And then the last notice says shifts in public perception and the desire for more humane treatment options for individuals with mental illness. It said this movement aimed to improve care and reduce the costs associated with institutional care, but it also left many individuals without adequate support, leading to increased homelessness and incarceration rates. So basically, they're saying right there's a lot of, probably backlash or public awareness on the public wanting a lot of change to how people is treated in these facilities. Also with the cost to run these facilities and other key factors as far as like innovative medicines that they can probably take at home, just get a prescription, go home, and hopefully they will be okay. They will not harm themselves. They will not harm other people. And, we see how that has worked out in many instances. It's to the point now where even a lot of police departments across the United States, they have like certain measures that they have to take when they believe that they are up against somebody who might have a mental illness. Because, you know, in the past, some people with mental illness might be just shot down like a dog, and they might be having a mental health crisis at the moment. Then find out later they was on medication. They weren't on a medication. They might needed something to be recollaborated. Things like that. There was people who were actually unalive here and across the United States over the past years who were actually gunned down and unalive, and they were having like a mental health crisis. So now they have where police can call somebody out who's trained for those type of situations to try to talk a person down. That police don't have to take those measures to, shoot them or unalive them, tase them, anything like that. But yeah, so but again, I don't know what real solution that we could do, or what other changes can be made so that things like this don't happen. But I am so glad that Walmart is taking it seriously, because it did happen, in their store and in their parking lot. And a lot of people was like, why did nobody see the lady walking around with a knife? Why nobody saw her stealing the knife? Why nobody saw her holding the knife against the baby? Why? I mean, it was like one person, they made a phone call, and then like a second person made a phone call. So like out of the whole Walmart store, it was only like 2 people that saw that something was going wrong, something was going down. But thank God for those 2 people that happened to just be, I want to say, at the right place at the right time. Because again, some of the people was like, well, it was even the people in the store who looked at the cameras. They said when the lady and the guardian and the baby was going past, going down the aisles, they said you couldn't even tell that something was wrong. You couldn't even tell that something was wrong. And then I know, some people in the chat yesterday agreed with me, because I do carry, that, of course, if the guardian might have had a weapon, or their own weapon, more lethal weapon, that they probably would have never had to have the baby in the hospital from being slashed, having his face cut by that mental health patient. But everybody don't carry, and a lot of people don't even like to carry, and might not want to have a pistol, especially around children. But this is one of the reasons why a lot of people do carry these days, because you never know what can happen. You never know. And as I say, the reason behind my pistol, because I have a few friends, who don't like pistols. They don't want to carry. And I have a lot more that do, and family members too. But I'd rather be caught with it than be caught without it and really need it. So that's how I feel when it comes to, the right to bear arms. That's absolutely how I feel. And hey, Vibrant, how you doing, love? Good to see you, boo. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Now, I know I told you guys that I was going to let you hear from the family. So I'll definitely want to play that next. The family did speak out as well. And actually, the family spoke out, and then also a witness. Which one should I play for you first? I think I'll play the one from the bystander first. I think I'll do that one first, and then leave the family, for after that. So let me go ahead, and I'm going to hit mute so I can bring that video up.
Attempted abduction, call 911, getting help for that caretaker. Unrelated to this morning's attempted abduction, call 911, getting help for that caretaker. KETV Newswatch 7's Madison Perales spoke exclusively with that woman. Madison, what did she tell you?
Quinicia, she told me that she hardly ever comes to this Walmart, only if she needs to pick up her order. And she tells me that she was scared for her life in this moment, for what was going to happen just before this child was hurt.
Female called 911 from a cell phone, said she needed police.
Becky Bissell made this initial 911 call asking for the police to help the 3-year-old boy.
He looked very scared. He looked like he obviously didn't know suspect. And looked like he was just very scared.
Bissell tells me she was leaving Walmart when the caretaker walked up to her window.
I was terrified. I kind of thought maybe she was going to rob me. And then I saw that she had tears in her eyes. And so I just immediately called the police.
The woman told Bissell that she was the 3-year-old boy's caretaker.
She just kept saying, like, she has my son. She's threatening to kill him. Like, it was scary. And I had my son in the back seat.
The caretaker described what happened to Bissell.
The woman approached her in the store and asked for her phone. And then after she had the phone in her possession, showed her the knife and took the cart and had her kind of go around Walmart with her until she made her go out to the parking lot.
As she was calling 911, things took a turn.
I could hear the suspect yelling at the victim, and the victim said, "She wants your phone." And then she said, "She's cutting my son. She's cutting my son."
She was the only person who called the police, saying no one else in the parking lot noticed what was going on.
I could have driven away. I didn't have to stop and talk to her. And I just feel like anybody could have just driven away. And, you know, if you see somebody who looks like they might need help, you just have to stop.
Bissell thought that the caretaker was very brave in these moments to leave the child with the suspect in order to get help, saying that that moment and that decision may have been the difference between life and death for this child. Reporting live, Madison Press.
And I absolutely agree. Especially if the caretaker didn't feel like she could take on, you know, the woman with the mental illness that had a knife to the baby. But again, like I said yesterday, we always hear, you don't know how you'll act, you don't know how you'll react, you know, to a situation that somebody else is in until you put yourself in that situation. Now, me, myself, I said yesterday, I don't know. Even if I didn't have a weapon on me, I think I would have tried something. Since the lady was making the caregiver walk in front of the cart while she was pushing the cart, maybe I would have, I don't know, turn around, push the cart real hard, try to knock the lady down with the cart. You know, I don't know. But I do believe if that was my baby, I would have tried to do more. Now, it could be the fact that the person was not the actual parent. They were a friend of the family. I'm not making no judgments here. I'm just trying to think. Maybe that attachment wasn't there. I don't know. I don't know if that was it, because I have like looked out and stood up for so many children in my life that weren't even mine. I remember one time driving down the road on my way home, and I saw this little boy getting jumped. And the little boy had to be probably about 9 or 10, and he was getting jumped by like 3 boys. And I mean, when I tell y'all I hit that curve so hard, thank God my brakes worked really good, because they all would have got ran down. But I hit that curve so hard, pulled over, jumped out the car. What the hell y'all doing? If y'all don't get your ass. I made the little boy get in my car because he just so happened to be my neighbor's son. He just so happened to be my neighbor's son. He stayed 2 doors down from me. So I grabbed him, took him home to his mom, told him what happened. And then she dealt with, you know, whatever, the parents or the school or whatever, you know, because they was walking home from school in our neighborhood. And I mean, that's just one situation. I don't play that bullying shit. I don't play that people hurting children, causing harm, the pedo. I don't play none of that. The abuse, getting beaten, and all that kind of stuff. Not no spanking, but y'all know what I mean. Abused. I don't play none of that shit, whether it's my kid or not. But then again, that could have been the case. I don't know. Again, you can't say what you do in certain situations unless you're absolutely in that situation. But I would really like to think and believe that if that was Cam or my oldest or my grandbaby, I don't think I could have left that cart to run and get help. I think I would have tried. I don't know. But being I do carry, now I'm saying if I didn't carry, I don't know if I could leave my baby there, even though she did run to get help. But I think I would have tried something. Like, man, I can just picture myself just ramming that cart into her. Tell my baby, hold on for dear life, baby, hold on. Like, hold on. You might fall out that cart, but this bitch is going down too. But I don't know. But, you know, being that I carry, and I'm sure other people, if you carry, you probably would have got her ass. You probably would have popped that ass right there. Shit, before she got your baby out the stove in that cart and was able to slash him across the face. But overall, I'm so glad it was not worse than what actually happened. I'm so glad it was not worse. That lady had to be taken down. Absolutely necessary. Absolutely necessary. Look at her. Look at her face. Look at her expression. She looks like she's possessed. She's definitely having an episode here. So I'm definitely glad the officers were able to put her down. And the thing about it, they actually tried to revive her and keep her alive till the ambulance and, you know, the fire department got there. But she was found, you know, unresponsive, and she was declared deceased, you know, at the scene. So again, this is her. That was her looking crazy. That was her looking crazy. This is her a few years ago when she was arrested for trying to set her father on fire and setting her father's house on fire and then breaking into a church precinct, into the rectory where a priest lived. So that's that right there. As far as the family members go, let me see. Hold on 1 second. Did I didn't show y'all that yet, did I? Hold on 1 second. Okay, here we go. Now I'm going to play the family video. The family speaks out. And I'm going to go ahead and hit mute.
Breaking news. The parents of the 3-year-old boy who was slashed at an Omaha Walmart speaks to us for the first time.
Tonight we have team coverage. Maddie Augustine is running through the history of the suspect and her previous run-ins with authorities. Meanwhile, Madison Perales is speaking with an Omaha priest who's criticizing the mental health shortfalls in the state.
But first, let's go to KETV. Newswatch 7's Beth Carlson, who just spoke with the parents. Beth?
Quinisia, Bill, that's right. Kyler's parents, Sarah and Casey Hillman, say that they are grateful to law enforcement. They say without the action they took, they don't know if their son would still be here. But now the question remains. They are wondering how this incident that started here at Walmart was able to occur. Now, the 3-year-old Kyler was with a family friend when police say Guzman tried to kidnap him, slashing him across the face and arm. Sarah and Casey say they both received the news that Kyler was headed to Children's Nebraska, but at the time, details were still missing. Their son then underwent surgery and was released from the hospital. The parents say it's been hard not only for Kyler, but also his siblings and themselves to wrap their heads around.
I walked in his room when I got there, and it was dang near instant tears because there had to be 7 to 10 cops still standing in there, and they were all tacked out, everything. And the one that was sitting there, he was one of the officers involved. He told me what happened, and I just held the kid and started crying right there. I mean, that was all I could do. And they said that he was just asking for dad, a Band-Aid, and to go home the whole time.
The parents say they are grateful for Omaha police, but now wonder how it was possible that Kyler and his caretaker were ushered at knife point from the back of the store all the way onto the corner of 72nd without anyone noticing what was going on. But they say they're grateful that that 911 call was able to put a stop to it. There's now a GoFundMe for the family's unexpected costs, and you can find that at this web story at ketv.com. Back to you.
A lot of questions. Beth, thank you.
Yes, it was a lot of questions. Like I have said before, it was a lot of questions from the community about not why only was this person even out there able to commit another crime like this. Because again, she had cut her father before. She had tried to douse him on fire. She set his house on fire. She broke into a rectory at a church here, broke into a rectory where a priest lived at a church here. This was just a few months ago, and she was also supposed to get like some go back to court today. I mean, go back to court in June, which I had mentioned earlier. Just a few months from now, she was supposed to be seen again regarding her mental health illness. Now, some people in our community is kind of upset about the fact that this did happen. I mean, you know, the community, we're really shaking right now, as in any community, because again, this could have been anybody's child. This could have been anybody. You know, it happened to be a child, but hell, the lady could have just started going slashing around older people too, you know, grown-ups at the store. But this definitely could have been anybody's child. So there are people out here who are basically saying, you know, we need to vote to not retain Judge Leanne Rettelsdorf and Marlon Polk, because they said they think if a woman tries to kill her father by lighting him on fire and attacks a church with the goal to stab the priest, the judge ruled she's mentally unfit to stand trial in 2024. Unacceptable. This is what somebody posted on Facebook. They said this is the same woman who, legal status questionable, posted pics that said FUCK ICE and was shot at Walmart the other day for kidnapping and stabbing. Now, I will show this picture that they're referring to about ICE. She had posted this last year. So that's what this person on Facebook is referring to. She said the same woman who legal status is questionable posted pics about, you know, FUCK to ICE, who was shot at Walmart the other day for kidnapping and stabbing. They said if the judges won't hold criminals accountable, they don't deserve their seat. People like Noemi Guzman have no place in our country or our society. These judges enabled this with the weak ruling. Do not retain Judge Leanne Rettelsdorf and Marlon Polk. So yeah, some of the people in our community is very, very upset. Very upset that this lady was still able to be out here in the streets after doing all those other heinous crimes. And again, thank God that she did not unalive that little 3-year-old. He's probably going to have a scar that's going to be on his face for the rest of his life. Hopefully they can minimize it over the years, but he will definitely remember this forever. Whether he remembers the exact act, but just that scar on his face, that's probably going to be a traumatic memory for him for many, many, many days and years to come. But again, shout out to the officer's quick action. Shout out to the officer's quick action on putting her down before she was able to further harm that little boy or unalive that little boy. Now I want to read a few more statements that people made on Facebook. One person in particular said, I wasn't going to comment on what happened today. They made this post yesterday, obviously. So they said, I wasn't going to comment on what happened today, but after seeing those still pictures from the police department, anybody that puts a butcher knife to a child as if they're going to take that child's life, I'm sorry. You made that choice for the cop to have to discharge their service weapon. They had to save the baby's life. Praying for the baby and the family. Absolutely. I absolutely agree. Absolutely agree. Now I want to read one more comment for from somebody in the community, and this one is actually a family member of mine that they made on their community wall post. And they said excuse me, they said opportunity okay. Oh, okay. They said, so I've seen many people comments and armchair responses about the officer involving shooting. And they'll offer this. They said, when I was transporting nuclear warheads all over the U.S., part of my use of force training was OIC, opportunity, intent, and capability. Opportunity, the suspect was within arm's reach of the woman and her young child. Intent, The intent was there due to her wielding a chef's knife and advancing towards the woman and her child. Lastly, capability. She was within arm's reach, wielding a large fixed blade knife, which made her capable of grave bodily harm or death. A taser was not optional. The close proximity of the suspect put the child at risk of being hit by the bars from the taser. A knife is a deadly weapon. Regardless of mental capacity, the responding officer had no time to ascertain her current mental state. Upon response, the officer witnessed a woman and a young child being viciously assaulted with a large knife. Officers, be it local, state, federal level, and military, we are taught to shoot, center mass. In some cases, yes, a headshot is the optimal target area. And they said, I'm assuming this was the officer's choice due to the attacker's close proximity to the child. Anyone who's trained at this level knows that this is a hell of a shot. Wasn't I just saying that yesterday or earlier? You got to have some good training and have a good hell of a shot to get that lady. Do I got the picture still posted? Yes. That officer had a good hell of a shot. Good aim. And he needed those skills right there after the lady already slashed the 3-year-old across the face with that big ass kitchen knife. So the person on Facebook said, anyone who's trained at this level knows that this is a hell of a shot to take under these stressful conditions, such as this one. This was a clean shot. Officer used his training, his skill set, and shot placement to neutralize any collateral damage. I co-sign that. I co-sign that. Now, there are some people who say they should have tasered her, but like that person said on Facebook, tasering could have actually injured the baby because a taser just don't go straight forward and just stick you. It spreads out. So, it's not like one little beam or whatever they call it. It like kind of spreads out. But yeah, I believe that the cop did exactly what he should have done. Absolutely. Absolutely. So, yeah, again, thank God that baby was not harmed any worse than he was. It could have been a lot worse. So, that's my update on that local story. This happened yesterday. I came to you first yesterday with breaking news, and I'm just following up with the story to let you know all the updates. So, again, if you're just coming in, please make sure you like and share the video, please, and thank you so much. I appreciate you guys. Please subscribe, too, if you also are not subscribed. If you happen to be new here, please subscribe and hit the notification bell. Feel free to donate to the Cash App, $ the Hood Table 402, or Super Chat to donate to the platform by that way. Now, I did say after I did my update on the breaking news from yesterday that I was going to chime in a little bit on some beef sector stuff. Just a little bit. I've been hearing a lot of people talk about protecting your platform. And, this is something that, comes up from time to time, especially when people are doing so much flagging, so much striking, people losing channels, back to back to back. So I've been hearing a lot of talk of people, wanting to protect their channel. And I've also been hearing talks of people saying that, they're being attacked on channels, and some people feeling like, what happened on their channel, if it has something to do with them, then, they threatening to snatch channels and things like that. When it comes to protecting your channel, only you can protect your channel. Only you can protect your channel. I have made that statement several times about Lemon. Lemon, I have said, he probably never heard me, but I said on my panel, nobody will start taking you and your channel seriously until you start taking you and your channel seriously. Only you can protect your channel. It ain't nobody else's responsibility. No matter how many people might come at you and try to give you advice, and they say people be coddling him or trying to mother him. They say things like that too, and he also said that before too. People trying to mother him and parent him out here. No matter what type of advice people can give you about protecting your own channel, it's up to you to protect your own channel. And with that comes, people who have been known to be spewing certain things on panels. Spewing certain things on panels, like talking about the deceased, talking about people's children, talking about people's family, people's parents, things like that. I heard somebody say today that a lot of people believe that it won't happen to them because it might not have. There are some people who go around spewing really, really nasty things on people's panels that won't even do it on their own panel. And some of them do it on their own panel, but they think it's okay to do it on other people's panels too. And again, I say it's up to you to protect your own channel, your own platform. If you really, care about your platform, care about that AdSense check, them cash apps, some super chats, them memberships. If you really care about all that, then it's up to you to protect your own channel. For people who, are known to do certain things on people's channel, for people's channels to get flagged or be struck or the video snatched down, don't ever think that it won't happen to you. Don't ever think that it won't happen to you. That's why some people, when they let people on their platforms, they put up their banner and they won't take that banner down till they get off the panel. Even if they say, oh, you ain't got to take it down. I ain't going to do nothing. I wouldn't do that to you. Yeah. We done heard that stuff before too. Then the same people that you always let up on your panel be the one that P-bomb you or, say something really out the way to get your video snatched. And then when it comes to people that you see do it all the time on other people's channels, when they come to your channel, don't just automatically assume that it ain't going to happen to you. Oh, we cooler than that. We closer than that. They wouldn't do that to me. Like, you never know. And it's not, and I don't want to say that people are purposely trying to sabotage people's channels. Like they said the other day, Lemon's channel got snatched or something because of something Hershey might have said. I'm not saying that people are purposely sabotaging your channel when they spew out vicious things like some of the things we hear, but sometimes people will say those things on your panel because they don't want to say them on their panel. They want to keep their panel clean, so they'll come over to your panel and they'll spew all that shit on your panel and try to save their panel. And some people just don't give a fuck. They just don't give a fuck. They'll just be over on your channel just saying all kind of stuff, talking about the dead, talking about kids, what they gonna do to people. Like the other day when RNY was live, and hey, Room Shaker, hey, baby, how you doing? You said facts on facts on facts, right? I'm telling no lies. No lies. But the other day when RNY was live on her channel, and she had now I do like Brooke. I do like her man. I do like her man too. Not that way, but you know what I mean. But he was up there saying what he was gonna do to another person, another content creator, and how he was gonna do them and unalive and do all this other kind of stuff and meet me here and I'm gonna bring this and I'm gonna pew and I'm gonna make sure your parents, your family have to, carry them roses and them flowers and what I'm saying, things like that. And RY kept saying, don't say that, don't say that, don't say that, don't say that. But they kept doing it over and over and over again. And it has to come a time where you see that people won't respect what you say on your panel. You have to drop them. I don't care who it is. You have to drop them. We have to come to these terms to protect our channel. If people are saying some really nasty stuff on your channel, on your platform, and it's against children, or they saying what they're gonna do to people, like unalive them or something like that, you have to just drop them. Just let it go. Just let it go, because if they're up there that upset, that they're that mad, it's kind of hard to censor somebody after they already they just revved up. They just revved up and they in the moment. So you might have to just drop them, say, I'm sorry, I appreciate you for coming. I'm really cool with you and everything, but I'm not cool with you, especially after you done told them 1, 2, 3 times to stop saying certain things on your panel. Like I was watching RY yesterday, like, dang, how many times is he gonna say it? How many times is he gonna say that he's gonna unalive somebody on your panel? And I remember when I had I'm a I can't even think right now. I'm a wrist holder moderator over at Riggs. And I remember last year when a certain individual was saying stuff like that on his panel, and I was in the chat, please don't say that. We don't want his channel flagged. We don't want nobody to try to strike his channel. And that person went smooth fuck the slap off on me. Like cuss me out, call me all kind of bitches and hoes and sluts and cunts and everything but a child of God. All because I said, please don't say those things on his platform. As a moderator, I'm telling and asking them politely, Please don't say those type of things on Rig's platform. And I'm sure a lot of y'all remember that. And I was cussed, smooth, slapped the fuck out. And then, he, of course, wasn't allowed, back over there. And then, yeah. But anyway, so, sometimes, people will get upset with you for dropping them or not allowing you to say those kind of very, very distasteful things on people's platform that can cause their channels to get a strike. It's too much. It's too much shit going around here. Too much threats. We seeing people getting their channels taken down all the time. Like Lemon is on what, number 6? Is he on number 5 or is he on channel number 6? And certain reasons why a lot of people are getting their channels taken down, it might be because of an ongoing beef. It might be because of an ongoing beef. But more than not, most people who get their channels taken or get a flag is because some people just got upset with something that happened on their channel. And one thing that I can't agree with RY when she said yesterday, she got really upset. And I told y'all, for some of y'all who ain't seen her, she can come off the porch, y'all. She can cuss you out. Church girl or not, I was raised up in church, child, from like 4 years old, and I can cuss a motherfucker out, okay? But yeah, she got upset, and she was like, why do people keep trying to put the responsibility on the content creator when somebody says something about them? Like, nobody knows what's going to come out of somebody's mouth until the words come out of somebody's mouth. Once the words come out of somebody's mouth, you can't say, well, that's your fault. You da-da-da-da. The only thing the content creator could do from that point on is to either ask them to not say those type of things on their channel, and if they don't stop, they can drop them. But you can't control what might come out of somebody's mouth. That we can't do, but we definitely can drop them. Envy said, certain people are even blocked from his StreamYard now. They can't even get to the StreamYard because once you tell somebody to respect your panel or your channel and they don't do it, it is what it is. You stay down there in the chat or you cannot come back over here at all. That's all I have to say on that. But I have been hearing a lot of that, in the last few days about people protecting their channels so you won't get strikes or you won't get video snatch or so that you won't have to hide. When you on this mug for like 2, 3, 4, 5 hours and you bringing some good content to the sector and then somebody come up there and they just fuck your shit all up, and you got to either take the video down, private the video, delete the video, put it on members, whatever. That don't feel good. And the person who did it, they done it. Now they gone back to their own channel if they got one. Is they gonna cash app you for the video? Send you enough money to make up for the AdSense money that you're not gonna be getting from that video? More likely not. Most likely not. But yeah, it's up to us to protect our own channels. Don't leave that up to nobody else. And again, if somebody is doing that type of stuff on a whole bunch of other channels and you let them up on your channel, you know how it goes. You already know what it is. When people show you who they are once, you got to believe them. Don't ever think that it can never happen to you. Don't never think that you are exempt from somebody doing a certain behavior on your platform. Even I cannot ever think that nobody would not do that to me because it can happen to any of us. And that's that on that. That's all I have to say. So that's a little update from some true crime that happened in our city yesterday, and also a little bit of commentary on the beast sector. But I'm gonna go ahead and get off of here, you guys. And Taybay, you said you remember when that happened last year? Child. If that wasn't a whole mess. And he was really acting like the victim. But anyway. So please, if you haven't liked the video already, please on your way out, please like and share the video. Support the channel. If you want to donate by Cash App, $ the Hood Table 402, or you can hit the super chat either before while the video is live or even when you hit the replay. Replay gang. Please also make sure you like and share the video. We do appreciate our replay gang, okay? But other than that, you guys, I'm about to get off of here. Grab me a little snack. I bought some wine today. Now, I am very familiar with different kind of wines. Now, I'm not a bougie bitch, right? I'm not a bougie bitch. So I'm not even gonna lie and say I be buying all these expensive bourgeois, type of wines and stuff like that. But I buy a little bit of this, I buy a little bit of that. But today, when I was waiting to get my phone service, where I get my phone service, it's actually a convenience store. So you can buy like some spirits in there, your smokes. They even got those gambling machines. They got food, snacks. You can buy gas. Then onto the side, it's a whole cell phone company or whatever. They do like new laptops and fixed laptops, phones. You can buy new phones. One of those type of convenience stores. And so while I was waiting to get my phone fixed, I went over there to the wine department, just looking around, and I saw this Snoop Dogg Cali Sweet Red wine. I was like, hold up, swole up. Snoop Dogg has a wine? I said, you know what? Let me grab this wine. It costs like, I don't know, it was like $15, something like that. I was like, Snoop Dogg got a wine? And it's called Cali Sweet Red. At the bottom of the bottle, it says Juicy Red Blend, 750 milliliters. I was like, oh, okay. Let me check it out. So I'm gonna have a little taste of that wine this evening. Not right now. When I do my wine, I do it like close to bedtime, because wine can really relax you. So I ain't trying to, get too relaxed right now. I might have me just a cocktail right now and then sit around and try to catch up on some things in the B sector, or maybe just check out some TV shows, because I'm a little behind in some of my TV shows as well. And I still have to finish reading Brandy's book. I still got to bring y'all part 2 of my commentary, my thoughts on Brandy's book. So I have a lot of things to do, which will probably keep me doing some commentary, at least for the next few days. I'll probably have my grandson this weekend as usual. But I'll be back tomorrow, Thursday. I'll be back Friday. Saturday, I don't know, because I'm supposed to get my grandbaby, and then I'll probably come back Sunday. But again, I'm trying to at least give y'all a show every other day, if not every day, for at least an hour. And we are now approaching 1 hour and 2 minutes. So again, please like and share the video. Stay safe, be blessed, remain vigilant at all times, and always remember to keep it hood. I'm out. Bye.